This week in Jamaica Now, 29-year-old pastor shot dead at church, the latest in the police probe in the killing of James Johnson.
What madness is this going on in our country, Master?
Corruption crosstalk, Peter Phillips flogs Andrew Holness, and Holness is hitting back.
You can't cuss me when you corrupt.
Then the PNP unveils the first in the Family Scholarship Initiative. What does this mean? American woman found guilty of lottery scamming. The aftermath of Hurricane Florence in the U.S. East Coast, and government announces ban on plastic bags come 2019. I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. A high-level probe is now underway into Thursday afternoon's murder of Church of God of Prophecy pastor James Johnson. The Constabulary Communications Network says investigators have picked up leads and are pursuing them. Johnson was killed around 5 o'clock at the Church of God of Prophecy on Old Harbour Road in St. Catherine North Police Division, where a state of emergency is now in force. The police say he arrived at the church, parked his car and entered the building, and shortly after a gunman entered and opened fire, hitting Johnson multiple times. It is reported that all the shots were to his back. The gunman later escaped. Police investigators reportedly recovered 7 spent shells from the scene. In the United States, a federal jury has convicted a 28-year-old Rhode Island woman for her participation in the Jamaican lottery scam. Melinda Bulgin was convicted on conspiracy and substantive mail fraud, wire fraud, and 1 count of money laundering conspiracy. She is to be sentenced at a later date. The scheme affected about 100 victims, with the reported losses estimated at more than $6.7 million US. Still in the U.S., the death toll from Hurricane Florence has climbed to at least 37. This includes 2 mental health patients who drowned while a sheriff's van was swept away by floodwaters. North Carolina's Governor Roy Cooper has pleaded with thousands of evacuees not to return home just yet. President Donald Trump visited storm-ravaged North Carolina on Wednesday. He stopped at a church in the hard-hit coastal town of New Bern, where volunteers have been handing out food to storm victims. After submerging North Carolina with nearly 3 feet of rain, the storm dumped more than 6.5 inches of water in the northeast, causing flash flooding. The 2 main political leaders have been trading allegations about who is more corrupt. Speaking at the People's National Party's annual conference on Sunday, President Peter Phillips said Andrew Holness' administration has been the most corrupt since independence.
They promise good governance and no corruption. That we know was such act. And they never tell me about the scandal and corruption that was going to spread out across Jamaica.
And hours later, Holness, speaking in Old Harbour, St. Catherine, said the PNP's history of corruption makes it the worst in the region.
The mark of the good government is that when it is done, there is no cover-up. When we face our challenges, there is no one who could criticize this government to say that we were covering up corruption. No, the Jamaica Labour Party stands firmly against corruption, and we will put in place and have been putting in place the measures to address it.
Meanwhile, Dr. Phillips used Sunday's conference to promise that a future government formed by his party would oversee a social revolution for the education sector. He announced plans for the first in the Family Scholarship Program and land reform. Under his first in the Family Education Program, the government would fund the tertiary education for the first member of a family to attend university.
A PNP government will pay your tuition and give you expenses because they believe you're going to come up and help raise the quality of life in your family. That is the covenant of the People's National Bank.
The police are searching for a St. Thomas man suspected to have sold students unprescribed pills which made them sick. The health ministry has been monitoring 19 students who ingested the pills. The Gleaner reported last Friday that a man entered the school compound on September 13 and again on September 14, selling the tablets, which he reportedly said would enhance the students' speed. The students reportedly began displaying signs of illness shortly after consuming the pills. The police and the health ministry are probing the matter. There is increasing public debate over the decision by the government to ban single-use plastic bags and styrofoam. The ban takes effect on January 1, 2019. Chairman of the Wisinko Group, William Mafood, has said the move is a knee-jerk reaction which will not work. However, Government Minister Darrell Vaz says this claim is false and without basis. According to Mr. Vaz, there was extensive consultations following the 2016 private member's motion by Government Senator Matthew Semuda for the ban. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, corruption crosstalk. More from PNP President Dr. Peter Phillips and JLP leader Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
We find the evidence that what we have today in Jamaica is the most corrupt administration that has ever held office in the history of our country since independence.
What is this man talking about? Well, make me make the statement, backed up by facts, that the PNP is the most corrupt political organization in the Caribbean.
Pushing scandal.
If you go back to 1989, which is a long time ago, you would hear about the Rollins land deal scandal.
Police use car scandal.
If you go back to 1990, you remember the zinc scandal after Hurricane Gilbert.
FLA scandal.
You have the furniture scandal. Then you have the Shell waiver scandal.
$8 million phone bill scandal.
Then you have a big scandal in 1992 over the illegal importation of motor vehicles. Then in 1993, we hear some man buy US dollar out of the back of them car all over. Big scandal.
$9 million travel scandal at TPD. The government have more scandal in it than Riverton City have scandal back.
You hear about the corrupt distribution of land in Holland. You hear about the Operation Pride scandal. Then in 1997, you have the FinSac scandal.
And then we have the super scandal, the Petrojan scandal. That one have everything in it.
And then now you have the mother of all scandal, the traffic guru scandal. You remember that?